Welcome to the Unfolding You podcast. I'm Erin Smylie Walsh, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and faith. Welcome to the first episode of the Unfolding You podcast. To be able to sit here with you today is just such a blessing. It's something that has been on my heart for, I reckon, about 7 or 8 years, and just something I haven't done. And I think a lot of us actually experience that, where we just have things placed on our hearts, but we just don't go with it. And I think it's probably because it's all led out of fear. For me, I bought the course. I was like, I'm going to do this podcast thing. I really believe like I have something to say. But then it sets in where you're like, who's going to listen? Who will actually want to hear me? Will my voice sound okay on camera? What am I going to say? Would what I say actually be of any value to anyone? And who am I actually to have a podcast? I think like we believe so many lies about ourselves, and then it really just creates this barrier of just doing it. And like if the Lord puts something on your heart, like our delayed obedience is disobedience. And but I'm going to tell you the story of like how Unfolding You actually started, because it's really do believe like it's the Lord's time, and just where we've started and how we've come to this point is just really the Lord, just the Lord's gentleness and kindness over me in these seasons. So my sisters took me away for my birthday, my 40th birthday, September 2024. And it was this moment where that whole year was quite a year of transformation. The Lord gave me the word transformation was my word for the year. And the verse that he attached to it was Romans 12, verse 2. And I'm going to actually read it for you because we all know the verse, but we don't necessarily like read deeper than the beginning of that verse. So Romans 12, verse 2, it's don't copy the behavior and customs of this world. I'm reading from the NLT. But let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. And we always stop at like that first sentence of the verse. But like, I feel like the depth comes in that second part of that verse. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. And I really sat in that for the whole main part of the year. Was the Lord was doing things in me that was creating transformation. But in moments where we feel uncertain on where we need to move and what direction we need to move in, I feel like that's really where we got to press in and let the Lord guide and lead us. So we're on this trip, and we are driving home. And I said to my sisters, I'm going to start this podcast. And they know it's been such a long desire of my heart. And I said, but I'm just a little stuck on what to call it. And I was like, this is what I want it to feel like. I want the podcast to feel like you're having a cup of coffee with a friend. I want the podcast to feel like it's conversational, that it's got moments of encouragement in it, that it's the Lord's words can be used through conversations, through me. But I want someone to come to the podcast that goes, I just need a little pick-me-up. I just need to listen like a word from a friend. I just need a little bit of life lesson. I need a little bit of encouragement in a season where I feel like I'm the only one in that space. I need somebody to go, you're not alone. I've been through this. I've walked through this. Someone's walked through it already. And I wanted to set up in a space where people just feel like they can connect and come in and go, oh, right. I needed to hear that. Okay, I can continue. I can carry on. And so at the depth of it all is like, I've been through so many seasons in life where the Lord has just carried me through moments where I thought I'd never be able to get through them, where I feel like just giving up. In moments where I feel like there's no way forward, He's provided a way. He's made the way. And I said to my sisters, like, this is what I want this podcast to feel like. And we went on this tangent of like, what do we call it? And, we're sitting in things. And Caitlin, my younger sister, brings this whole list of names and that. And I think it was number 9 on the list, and it was unfolding you. And it just sat and it landed. And I said, that's it, unfolding you. Unfolding you into who the Lord has created and designed you for. And all I can equate it to is like a rose. When roses come into bloom, they're buds. They're compacted and they're compressed with an outer covering. And as the season progresses, the bud starts unfolding. The outer layer pulls open, and then we get another layer of petals. And we don't actually know how big this rose is going to be. We don't know the complexity of color. We don't know, is it going to be full? Is it going to be tight, compact? We've got no idea what this rose is going to be. And as the season unfolds, the petals start unfolding. And that's life. Like, I feel like that's situations that we go through where these petals just start breaking open and the fullness of who we are actually starts coming alive. But yet we can't go through those moments. We can't get to the inner part of who we are with a little bit of pruning, with a little bit of food, with a little bit of tension, with a bit of sunlight, a little bit of rain. And I feel like that is really what life brings us. And as this bud starts opening, as the season progresses, we start seeing the beauty and the complexity of the rose. But with roses come aphids. And the aphids just come in like they go, I'm going to eat this rose. And I feel like that's just like the Lord again. We need the food. We need to strip ourselves of what is not good for us. And I really felt like that was the epitome of this verse in my life in this season. And so unfolding you has really stemmed from this deep desire to lean in to all the complexities of life and the journeys we've been on, and allowing the Lord to shape them in ways that just support us in the end, that just give us moments of truth to just unfold the innermost being of ourselves that he knows we are called to be and the uniqueness of who we are. And he just wants to use all of that to unfold and create us into a new being, and one that is rooted in him. So that is my deep encouragement for the Unfolding You podcast, that wherever you're at, I can meet you there with words of encouragement. And I don't know what this podcast is going to bring. I don't know who it's going to touch. If it reaches one person, that's fine. But I really do believe this is just so much bigger than me in front of a camera chatting to you. I really do believe this is just going to be incredible, great things. So wherever you're tuning in, thank you so much for subscribing, for downloading, for sharing, and just for supporting me along this journey. I think I could not do this without you. And I encourage you to pop into the comments. Just give me any insight on topics you want to hear. If you know of somebody that would be amazing to interview, just add that in. But I really want this to be a platform of engagement and one where we can just touch lives together and that we can be a light. So looking forward to going on this journey with you. And until next time, bye.